Now we have nice light wind, and we are now playing with the Cruzeiro. The Cruzeiro is a fantastic light wind sail. That's what I call the light wind turbo. The Cruzeiro you can actually use also upwind, and I'll show you later where to sheet it, but also upwind. But you cannot point as high as with the generals, but you can point about, let's say, 55 degrees to the true wind. Sometimes as a light wind it pays off to use the Cruzeiro upwind, but basically it is designed to go from 60 degrees and down to, let's say, down to 120 degrees. Going upwind, please only light wind conditions, because here we're talking about only up to 8 knots of true wind speed. This is not much, but the apparent wind is so powerful in this big sail, so maximum 8 knots of true wind speed going upwind. It's a different story when you start to bear off down to, let's say, 80-90 degrees. We are up to, let's say, up to 18 knots true wind, and when you're below 100 it's up to 20 knots wind speed. But it's a great sail. I also have to remember, when you go upwind and you want to sort of tack with the Cruzeiro, you cannot just sort of tack like normally. You have to tack. You need an extra hand, so you need to furl up the Cruzeiro as you tack and furl it out again. So it is more work going upwind, but as soon as you are going downwind, it's fantastic. I'll show you the sheeting points. Again, we're here on the 28. So when you're more downwind, just the sheeting here, this is also the position for the spinnaker. You can use it in the same position. Going more upwind, you need to get closer to the center hull. So you have to move this snapshot block to here. When we are racing, or if you have a longer run on the same tack, I always take the windward Cruzeiro sheet, the other one here, and put the block here. And this way, with the 2 winches, I can play with the different sheeting angles. And it is very important that you have the right angle, because the better the sail sets, the faster the boats are sailing. That's as simple as that. One more very important thing is when you want to furl up the Cruzeiro and the wind increases a bit, always go downwind. When furling, never go up into the wind. You kill the sail. It's too hard to furl, and this furling system is not designed in strong winds to furl it upwind. Go downwind like with the spinnaker, and then you furl it in the wind shade of the mainsail. And this is, I can only say it's very important. And even when we are racing, we always bear off quickly to furl up the Cruzeiro. And this way, when you use the sail this way, it's great fun. It really is. Yeah. One more important thing with the Cruzeiro, again, you can sheet it here and here, but before you fold in the hulls, it's very important also to take this block away, because we don't have room between the wing and the center hull. This goes for the 28 and the 40 model, and also the 25. On the 32, there's no problem. I also forgot to mention that if you have stronger winds where you don't use the Cruzeiro going upwind, I can only recommend just to lower it and pack it on the deck like a big sausage, because you have a lot of windage, and Also not least, when it's furled, when you have it up and it's furled, always make sure to lock the furling line, otherwise it will roll out again. And again, this is also important. You can lock it up on the forward cleat on the foredeck. Just make it secure like a mooring line. So yeah, these are basic things, but important. Yeah, regarding the Code Zero, how to operate the sail, or how to trim the sail. This is a nice laminated sail. So as you see, you can see the telltales. So this is basically like a big head sail. So you just sheet it and helm the boat as if this was a normal Genoa. So yeah, you find your course and you pull in the sheet so the telltales set right. Or if you go up, when you sheet it tight and you just steer on the telltales. So just consider this as a normal head sail and not like a Jenica or anything else. This is just a flat, big Genoa, just a very nice, strong material. So I think we will furl it up, Peter. So one last thing. I always recommend to furl it, let's say, clockwise. So you always furl it in the same direction, as we have a fiber luff. What do you call it? Yeah, torsion line, right? Yeah. So the torsion line likes to be operated in the same way at all times. So I can only say, personally, I furl it clockwise, and I recommend everybody else to do it. So, okay, Peter, you let the seat go, and again, always do it downwind, so it's easy behind the mainsail. Yeah. And now I'll show you the last thing, and to just put the line on the cleat here, so the sail doesn't furl out when not intended. That can be quite dangerous. This is a safe way. Off we go. For the Code Zero here, it's also quite essential to have enough luff tension. So it's not enough just to pull it up and by hand. You have to pull the luff tension quite hard, because if it sags too much, two things: the sail sets not so nice, but it can also be difficult to furl the sail. So, but focus is of course on the shape of the sail. So just set the luff of the Code Zero quite hard. What you can pull with one hand on the low gear on the winch with the Code Zero halyard.